Got a question for you old schoolers. How old school are you? We're gonna do this vehicle, the two fronts. This little guy's 16 years old. So we're gonna do this, and his parents requested we keep it legal. Okay guys, this is Rodney McClure, Ace Window Tinting. This is an old school Bronco. We're gonna do what we call a dry prep on this window to do it. The reason we're doing that is if you do a wet prep, you're loosening contaminants and floating them all around. So get pretty close right here, let them see this. Y'all see all that junk on that? Right in here, and come around this corner, probably wouldn't see it. It's just got just build up. So to dry prep, this is what we start with. We take a knife, I use a 30 degree, and I go up in the edge here, and I remove any little bit of rubber or butyl glue that may be on this, and there's no telling what you'll run into with the age of this. This was a 96 model. Then I'm gonna go right around this, get this, I'll flip this up, same thing here, and I'm gonna come down. I can get that off, I'll show you what I was talking about, that butyl. Some of these old school guys will know. Well, they stood on the ground anyway. It's that old black ugly stuff. All right, so the next thing, this is a brass brush. Sometimes you can see the dust flying when we're doing this, and you'll know what we're doing. And again, dry prep is something unique that some of you guys have probably never seen. But trust me when I tell you, it's worth its weight in gold on certain things. When I do residentials, you probably see that stuff flying. Can you see it floating? Okay. On residential French panes and stuff, this is how I do them. I do not wet them first. I only wet them when I'm applying the film. Now, I'm gonna take steel wool, prep this window all around. And you know we're only putting the tint on the inside, but I'm gonna prep the outside too after I prep the inside, because this is why when I flip this around, if you see that, let me open the door so you can look right here. Can you see this smudge in here? It runs like this. It can trick you when you're doing these jobs and throw you off. So I'm gonna push this around. I'm gonna steel wool this. Now this is 4/0 steel wool, or triple or quad 0 steel wool. We just call it 4/0. Old school redneck language, I guess, but anyway. So we do that, then we've got a towel that we use for nothing but stuff like that. And it's damp, and I got it damp so I pick up any of this dust and residue. It's not wet, just damp. Same thing on the inside. Now, in some other videos, some of you people that really watch them, you'll be going, I thought you said you don't use microfiber. We don't before we install. It's okay to use them for stuff like this. And now, I know we're not tinting rubber, but upon the event your film touches any of this stuff, you want all this clean, the latch, all the hardware. Okay. Now, we're gonna do a dry scrape. There again, no moisture, because we don't want to float up any contaminants out of these cracks, because some of these windows, the rubber glue doesn't go all the way, and there's a gap under it. So if you wet it, you can suck trash from the other side of the earth all the way over on this thing. Now I'm gonna hit the back side of this too, so when I'm looking through here, I can see what's clean and what's not. All right, all that's done. So now I'm gonna open this up, reach in here and get my trusty old brush. Soft bristle. We use this thing's been in as many videos as I have. We prep this thing. Again, it's dry. Getting all this off here. Now, lint-free rag. I'll wipe this whole thing really good. And another trick to this thing has the reflective film on the back window. And the reason I'm doing so much prepping is because we're putting some old school Lumar PP35 on this to give the fronts that reflective look that the backs have. Being these quarter glass, or these glasses back here. So now that that's done, one more step. Tack cloth, just like we were doing French panes in a house with wooden frames. We'll go around. We're gonna pick up any debris that's on this thing, just like this. Then we got one more for you after that. Old school blue jay, Elmer's. I'm gonna ease this thing over like this. I'm gonna start this corner. You don't want to overkill. All this does, we're not gluing the film on. What we're doing is putting a barrier between this groove and the film. Up through here, sometimes this works great, and sometimes we have to do it with our finger, which is what I'm gonna do and bring this up into it. And a lot of questions are asked is, how long do you let it dry? How long do you do this? Different applications require different methods. But all I'm doing is packing this up in there. That glue that you see on that edge right there, you'll never see it in a tent because this is water soluble. And when I squeegee, I use a certain squeegee technique to install this, so I'm gonna push all that in a certain direction. Now, I'll grab this piece of film. This method, we lay it on without touching the actual back side of the film with the adhesive side. And with that glue technique, we're sliding this right up in to the actual seal, making sure there's no gap down low up here. You can come to this side and show it to them before I start squeegeeing. I'll open it up for you. Squeegee this rascal out. And when we do these ones that we've glued, I take my finger and press the film like this to the glass. Maybe you guys can see it so I don't move it. But you don't want to, anytime you're doing a window like this, you want to pull all your slip away from the edges. You don't want to push it down here at the bottom and pile all this up. You can see I'm bringing it down, but I'm rotating it like this and bringing this stuff across, and I'm going to bring my squeegee up at a slight angle so it's feeding this water or slip upward. So we bring it out the back side over here. Because if you push it all up in here, you risk hydro flushing debris out. Now, the reason I'm doing this video on this, I've done these before. The reason I'm doing this one is because this is Lumar PP, Platinum Plus film. We're doing this to match the back of this vehicle. And if you've ever installed any silver reflective RS or any reflective film, you know how detrimental it is to get it clean and have zero contamination, because it really shows up on any of these you do like this. So it's just to your advantage to have your technique that works. And we're catching, anytime we push water out on any window that's deadheading into another area, it's to your best advice I can give you is to always catch this water and wick it out with a dry cloth so it doesn't pull contamination back under it if you get a finger. And you remember I was telling you this, the glue around the edge is not going to show. Once we put it on there, it's not going to show. What does it TikTok says? They'll never notice. So if I can't do that voice. The problem with Titanium Plus and Platinum Plus films back in the day was interference with radio signal because of the metallized film. Well, we ain't gonna have to worry about it with this thing. The other thing is, or was, extracting the slip solution. If you remember, some of y'all Lumar guys can attest to this, and the guys that put on Johnson's, when it dried, there would be white spots where this stuff didn't get all the slip out. With the advancement of squeegee blades and technology and knowing what we know now, it's not an issue. However, there is one inherent issue that still happens with this film, but it's not going to be on this vehicle because we're not doing any shrinking. Would be ghosting when you would shrink it. Now, show them this down here in this corner. There's a little bubble right here. Show it from the outside. I'm going to cut it. If you ever have to cut something to make it fit, you want to take your hard card corner tool or whatever and hold this down so you don't move it when you're cutting. This is just a tad long at the bottom. So I hold it and follow it with the tool. That way, it pushes all of it down and don't let it ride up. Then for my last pass, our last trick, we'll wrap this card with this. We're gonna squeegee this, just like this. And a lot of people ask, when I shave, do I do this or I do that? And the answer is no. Yes, I do. I don't remember, and whatever works at the moment. So, that being said, I'm gonna put a little bit of heat on this. I don't get close to this edge and burn this film, so I'm gonna put a little bit right here and let it radiate out the edge of that film. While I go grab this knife, that's to keep y'all entertained over there. You gonna sing to them?
No.
No. Okay. And I probably won't come get this knife because I probably don't know where it's at.
Which one are you looking for? The green one?
Yeah, the blue one with the little.
I think it's on your desk in your office.
Alright, I'll go grab it. Of course, y'all won't hear all this chatter. We'll probably stop it. But okay. So here we go. We're going to shave this off. And like I said, I like to heat them up so it doesn't move. Show them the end of this knife. This rides on the film and the glass. The blade's out past it. So this way, we don't have any issue with it sliding the film off the glass. So I'm gonna push this right here and get it started. And then you'll see how the film doesn't raise up when I'm coming down. Come over here and get real close to this. You actually come over on the back side, let them see what it's doing. This is pretty cool. See how this is riding on it? It's plastic, doesn't hurt the thing. This works just like shaving. And just bring it on down just like this. It don't let the film rise up and get debris under it. And that baby is cut and shaved on there. And that is a first class job on a vent glass on an old Ford F-150 and Bronco series. And that's what we got. Let me see that thing, Harley. So here's the final job. No gaps, no trash. There's some water down here, but nothing. And that's the glue method and using a little shave tool. And by heating that, we can go ahead and close this thing. So, I haven't looked outside yet. You know, reflective film, if there's trash, it shows. That baby's spot on. We do it to match this. I'll go ahead and roll this one to up because it's done too with a shaved edge. Also, it's not riddled with trash. And this Platinum Plus, like I say, is old school. Lumar, we got a finger there I'm gonna push out. Is different to work with. It's thinner, it's reflective, and the fact that it has to you have to get it super clean in the job. So that's it to match that back there. 96 Bronco. 35% Platinum Plus Lumar. This is how you get that look on. What I mean by how old school are you? We're about to match this really close. This is not gonna do it, but this is. Some of you guys comment and tell me what year this was from. And John Little, you're not included in this because you know